Welcome to another edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube. So you saw Patrick is still having problems closing his door, so it's okay. But we'll go ahead and roll with it. I think he's with us now.
What's up, everybody?
I'm Charles Taylor, and well, you saw Patrick Brackett, but he has to talk to you guys in a little while. So say what's up, Patrick.
What's going on? Hope everybody's had a great Thanksgiving, and hope everybody's gonna have a awesome Christmas.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, Patrick, we have a little bit to get to. I mean, some things happen. Something called the college football playoff final rankings that happened. So we haven't talked since that. So let's do a quick little review of those rankings so we know what the matchups are. They are Alabama against Washington, the 1 versus the 4. And you have Clemson and Ohio State, your 2 versus 3 matchup. Clemson and Ohio State are meeting in the Fiesta Bowl, and Alabama and Washington are meeting in the Peach Bowl. So, with these Final Four rankings, Patrick, I guess the question is, did they get it right? And if they didn't, what is your gripe?
Yeah, I say they got it right. Yes and no. I mean, I still feel if you're going to be in a college playoff, you should at least have to win your conference. Step one, you know what I mean? Ohio State, I mean, look, they beat Michigan, which was number 3 ranked team. My personal opinion, one of the best teams in college football this year. They beat them. They beat them in the second overtime. So, I mean, yeah, they deserve to be in there, but no, they don't. You know, I mean, you should win your conference. Alabama, they do what they do. They take out the guesswork. They go 13-0 and they stomp almost everybody they play. Clemson pretty much did the same thing. You know, take out the guesswork, look, and they're in. Washington, yes, kind of took care of business. Weak schedule, but doesn't change the fact that they went 12-1 in the Pac-12, and they handled business. Do I think that Washington and Ohio State are the 2 that ultimately deserve to be in there? I don't feel they do. I think it should be Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, and Michigan.
So I know you and I had talked about this a little bit, but you think Michigan should take Ohio State out? So you would switch Michigan in there and put.
What did I say? We had this conversation before. Now I'm lost on who I picked.
Well, no, you said Alabama. You said Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, and Michigan. So those are your best 4 that you've seen all year?
That was the best 4 I've seen. Now I know that Penn State and Michigan is in the same conference, but I mean they were the best 4. And I mean, in later down the road, I mean you're going to have to get to a point where you should have to win your conference, and then that would put Michigan out. But as it stands right now, I mean, I see the reason why they put Ohio State in there, deservingly enough. They only lost to Penn State, and Penn State took 2 losses, and they didn't handle business. For the most part, Ohio State did. So, I mean, yeah, that's the reason why I say yes, they got it right, because how do you drop Ohio State out? While they're ranked number 2. And how do you put Penn State in when they have 2 losses? So, to me, you got to do what Alabama does and just handle business and win the games that you're given, and play some high-ranked teams and take care of business.
Well, I'll say the committee did the best they could. So based on how the rankings ended up and what they were going in to the championship or the conference championship weekend. So you had Ohio State sitting at number 2. They were there before they beat Michigan. Mm-hmm. So if they were there before they beat Michigan and you kept them there as the committee going into the conference championship games, knowing they weren't going to play anybody or basically have an idle week, a bye week, then it was going to be hard to justify dropping Ohio State completely out
Yeah.
of the playoff from a number 2 spot. Washington, a lot of people had problems, and like I did. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't. A lot of people had problems with their non-conference schedule. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But you put
Needless
them,
to say.
but you put them at number 4 going into championship Saturday.
Yep.
So if you put them at number 4 and they beat soundly or whooped them 41-10, they beat soundly a number 8 Colorado team. That was only going to help their cause. There's no way you were going to say, all right, we have a problem with their non-conference schedule, but we're going to put them at number 4, and then they beat Colorado like they did, and you were going to drop them out. So, I mean, either way, the committee was going to kind of contradict themselves. With Ohio State, it's kind of contradictory because they didn't win their conference. With Washington, it was kind of contradictory because the committee has said before the schedule matters. They want to see you play somebody in the non-conference. Washington played nobody in the non-conference, but they got in. So
They made a big deal about that this year.
yeah, and so based on where they had the rankings, I think they did the best they could. This year, Patrick, was probably the most difficult year they had picking these teams. The first year, you knew Alabama, Florida State, and Oregon were going to be in there. Ohio State made things easier for the committee by blowing out Wisconsin 59-0 in the Big Ten championship game, which means they didn't have to deal with the controversy involving Baylor and TCU that year.
Yeah.
The year after, or last year, you knew Alabama was going to go in there. You knew Clemson was going to go in there because Clemson ran the table last year.
Yep.
Michigan State was going to get in there if they were able to win the Big Ten, which they did, and then Oklahoma. But they won. They only had the one loss to us in Texas, and they were able to win the Big 12, and they were probably going to get in too as long as they took care of their business. So this year, now you have a little bit of friction because of how everything worked out. Personally, I think it's good. It's good that you have a little bit of friction. It's good that you have a little bit of controversy because what that does, Patrick, ultimately is start to bring in a little bit of change. If you
Yep.
continue to have this controversy about which team is going to get in because of a strength of schedule, because of a conference championship, well, now maybe the push for 8 teams, which I think would be perfect. If you have 8 teams in there, you have because I think if you have your Power 5, right? You have your Power 5 conference winners. You get 2 wild cards or 2 at-large teams, and get that, what do you call it, the middle 5 or whatever they call it, the highest ranked team out of there. I think an 8-team playoff would be good. No more than 8, though. No more than 8.
Well, honestly, man, 4 teams is enough. I mean, do a lot of people want to see an 8-team playoff? Absolutely. But let's remember that these kids are students, and they're not athlete students. They're student athletes. They're students first. And to me, that's just too much football. I mean, you're gonna have to take out the non-conference games and put in an 8. If you're gonna do that, you play strictly in conference. You play strictly in conference, and you take out the non-conference games, and then you do an 8-team. No, 4 is enough, man. They're students first. They're students first. Let them get their education.
Yeah, but Patrick, it'll only be one more game, man. I mean, look, because think about it. You have here's another reason why I'd say 8 teams. You have 8 months in between the bowl game and the conference championships. Okay, it's not 8 months, I know, but it's like, but it's a good amount of time, Patrick, between those games.
Yeah, but Alabama would, like, let's say a team like Alabama, they wouldn't play just 2 games. They would play 4 games.
No, because with 8 teams, you would have your quarterfinals basically, and then your 18 playoff gets trimmed down to 4, and then the 2. So it's just one more game. I think they could do that. I mean, look, I like the four. I do. I'm not saying I hate the four. I like the four, but I think eight would be perfect. You're adding just one more game in the schedule. As a matter of fact, you know what? They could cut one of the non-conference games and then play the rest of those games in conference. I think that would work too.
Hmm. I mean, well, I mean, if it's one more game, but the thing is, Charles is at that point. I mean, you're gonna have to add more bowl games.
Oh, they do that already. How
Well,
many
they
bowl
do,
games do
but
we
I
have?
mean, but come, I mean, there has to be a stop. I mean, if we add four now, okay, we got a 4 game playoff or 14 playoff, cool. Then we go to 8. Then how long is it going to be before we go to 16? How long is it going to be before we go to 32? You know, I don't know, man. I like the 4. I like the 4 because I like the controversy that it comes with it.
No, Patrick. I want to get back to that whole thing about you saying, continue to add more bowls. They've been doing that already.
I mean, I know they do, but still, I mean, come on.
The
You ain't
look,
got
man,
nowhere to
4
stop,
teams are
man.
starting to get bowl invitations.
I mean, before you know it, dude, they're gonna have participation bowls, man. Come on.
They already do. Patrick, 5 and 7 teams are getting in bowl. They're getting bowl invitations. 5 and 7.
See that, and that's ridiculous.
It
That's
is.
just absolutely ridiculous.
Like, look, 5 and 7, 6 and 6 teams get to go to the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl.
Basically, that's just a freaking vacation.
Exactly.
That's
So I
ridiculous.
think, I mean, just kind of going back real quick to the rankings. I, I do like the 14 playoff. I do. I mean, and like you said, the controversy that comes with it, especially this year, because like I said, the first couple of years that wasn't there. I mean,
Mhm.
it was pretty easy for them because of how everything played off. This year, these dudes had to think, they had to put resumes against each other's, and they had to actually do an overall picture. Now, I do like that aspect of it. I think, to me, eight eight's got to be the max. In my opinion. And I look at the model of the FCS. They have a playoff system, and it seems to work just fine. So, I mean, North Dakota State, who has won the last 19 FCS titles, it seems like. I think it's the last 5, if it's exactly right. But, um,
5 or 6, whatever it is. I know it seems like
okay.
they win every year. They're like Alabama.
Yeah. But they have a playoff system. And, it seems to work fine. I don't see, if it works that well in the FCS, I think it could work in the FBS or division, or it used to be called Division One. And you're just adding one more game, man. I think one game, especially in that time period in between the conference championships and the bowls. Like, let's look at Alabama, for example, Patrick. They played, and I guess you can say the same thing about Washington and Clemson because they all played championship games too. They
Mhm.
played that championship game December 3rd. They don't play again until December 31st. That is 4 weeks. You you
Well,
could
you need time to prep.
what well look, okay, you got finals week. All right, because we're talking about school, and like you said, they are students first. I do agree with you there, Patrick. They're students first, and you want to make sure they take care of their academics. You have finals for the fall semester. I get that. But you could throw a game in there, just another game, put it whatever, December 24th. Use one of these bowls. They start playing bowls December 17th anyway with the New Mexico Bowl. So I mean, you could throw, you could put.
So many bowls, man. It's so stupid.
I'm just saying, you can put.
Really drives me crazy with that stupid crap. It's like let's add another bowl. Let's make another couple of $1 million off of this. Let's add another bowl and 2 and 2. What are we looking at? 2 and 11. Just let them in. Let everybody that's 2 and 11 in.
And see, and you could have a game on like that week before the what the actual games would be, the actual playoff games. So I mean, I think it could work. You want to make sure they take care of the finals and all the academic stuff first. I do agree they are students first, but
Dude, Philadelphia would probably pull out of the pros and go to college.
that's terrible. Patrick,
They would. I mean, at least they'd have a chance for at least. I mean, look, if you're 2-11, dude, they're like, well, the coaches would get fired because then they'd make playoffs. But other than that, man,
How does
Philadelphia be on point down. They'd be like, yeah, let's drop out of the pros, let's go to college, and
how did you
we get some bowl games.
how did you manage to get the Eagles in this conversation, Patrick? I mean, seriously, you need to
Man,
look.
the whole city of Philadelphia in.
Stop hating on the city of Philadelphia, man. We're not talking about the city of Philadelphia. I can't believe you managed to get that in. That's
Look,
funny.
the Eagles would have a bowl game right now.
Look, the Eagles have actually had a decent season compared to what we were saying they would have. But
Yeah, the coach is probably borderline getting fired. He's about to win 6 games.
So,
I
but
think.
no, man. Hey, any closing comments to the playoffs? So you think do you pretty much think how I do? They did the best they could.
You did the best they could with what they got, man. I mean, over the next course of a couple of years, they'll probably pan it out and get everything fixed, and everything will be fine. And they'll probably pull out a little bit of controversy, but these teams, they'll find a way to make it. They'll find a way to make it interesting. So, I mean, you're never going to make it perfect. It's not a perfect world, but I mean, they did the best they could.
Well, all right, Patrick. Well, we'll preview those games as they get closer.
Okay.
Well, the playoff games, and then you know what? Actually, man, we'll go through. We'll look at all the bowls and just start making our picks for it too. So we'll have a special show for that.
Just pick the most important ones, man, because we don't have time to do 25,
You
30
don't
to
you
get all these.
Patrick. You mean to tell me you do not want to pick the Charmin toilet bowl? I know that's not a bowl, but it might as well be.
Yes, Fresno State's going to win it.
All right, cool. That's what I'm talking about, Patrick. Way to get into the spirit. Well, let's move on to a little bit of NFL talk. So, as you can see, well, I mean, not because my camera's not quite high def, not like Patrick's, but I do have the Raiders and Chiefs on behind me as we speak. The Chiefs are winning 21-13. So,
ruining my pick.
Huh?
Chiefs are ruining my pick, man.
Yeah. Hey, I picked the Chiefs, so I mean, but we'll see. Hey, the Raiders can come back and win this game. It's still plenty of time left in the fourth quarter. But
all I gotta say is, man, how about them Raiders, dude?
Oh no, the Raiders are doing their thing.
Good, man.
Yeah, the Raiders are doing their thing. They're coming, man. If they get to me, if the Raiders can get their defense, if they can get a little bit more defense to help Khalil Mack out,
yeah,
I think they'll be ready. Definitely. Oh, yeah. I mean, like Super Bowl contending ready.
I think they'll address that this offseason. I mean, there's only one way to. That's the only thing they can do. I mean, when you look at that high-powered offense with Derek Carr, Amari Cooper, and Crabtree, and then Bell as the running back, man, they're good.
Latavius Murray.
Murray, my fault, Murray. Yeah, you got to keep me straight on them names, man. I don't know them all.
I got you.
But when you got that as an offense, and that offensive line, man, is just straight up. I mean, dude, they average like 340 pounds a person. Big line, dude. And their offense is just they work really well together, averaging 30 points a game and stuff like that. I mean, Kansas City doing their thing against them tonight, right now, but I mean, not every team is going to win every game. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect except for one team, and that's it. So, but Oakland, I think same thing, man. I think they get a couple more defensive players, man, and they're gonna be ready.
So, what caught your eye from last week's action, and what are you looking forward to this week?
Last week, man, Dallas and Minnesota, that ended up being a far better game than I thought it was going to be. I thought Dallas was pretty much going to run away with it, but Minnesota hung around somehow.
They're tough at home.
They are tough at home. But Sam Bradford, dude. I mean, that's dude. I'm telling you, that is number one problem right there. You get rid of him and actually put somebody that can actually play quarterback, and they're easily probably winning that division right now.
Sam Bradford,
Sucks.
as critical as we have been about him, he's done okay this year. I mean, it's not like look, Minnesota's team, they I mean, they're kind of in shambles right now. Their offensive line is terrible right now. They can't protect anybody. And the defense, they're still pretty good. As a matter of fact, the defense, I think they suffered another big loss. I think they lost Harrison Smith, their safety, and they're saying from reports they might have lost him for the season. If that is true, that's a big loss. That's a big loss in safety. They had just signed him to a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I look, man, I thought Minnesota could actually pull that game out going into it because I don't think Dallas is that good to where they're just so more they're just so much more dominant than everybody else. I think Dallas is playing well. I mean, look, I like what Dak Prescott is doing. Ezekiel Elliott is having a big season. But to me, they're kind of like the Raiders. Their defense is not that great. So if you can, that Dallas can be got. They are playing well, but
It be
this
got next
game,
week.
well, this game that they had against Minnesota, I was not shocked that if that was a close game. I mean, I just kind of felt like Minnesota was going to play well at home and make that game pretty tough for them.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, man. Look, Dallas is playing well. I'm not gonna take anything away from Dak and how he's doing, and Ezekiel Elliott, Des Bryant, the way they're playing. But me personally, I think the 11-1 is a little bit more. They could easily be 8-4 right now.
Yeah, they found ways to win in some of
They
those
found ways
games.
to win, and don't get me wrong. We always say good teams always find a way to win. This is a good team. And one of the biggest reasons why I think that they're 11-1. I don't think this is a Tony Romo thing. I don't think Tony Romo would ever have them at 11-1 right now. But I still feel that I think this Dallas team could get got. And the way it's playing, I think a lot of things has just went in their favor. Not saying that the refs are playing them and giving them the calls. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that could have happened. Um, Dak Prescott, during his first 8 games, man, he threw like 216 passes without an interception. I can count on both my hands 15 times how many times he probably should have been intercepted. But the defense would drop the ball or wouldn't pay attention, and that guy that got hit in the helmet off of the pass, I mean, come on, dude, it's right there, dude. Come on. And he was like, I'm like, dude, it's right there. I mean, he practically just like tossed it up to you. I mean, I can count on it so many times that he probably should have been picked, and I can count on both my hands and both my toes how many times he probably should have been picked with a pick six. It just fell the way that it did, and he didn't get intercepted. I can't complain about it. I mean, dude, Aaron Rodgers had the same thing when he came up. Tom Brady had the same thing when he came up. But the thing is that eventually the luck's going to run out, and it always does. And the way they're playing good. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott is like fantastic, dude. He's killing it. But eventually it's going to happen. And I'm not saying that the Dallas Cowboys suck, Stan. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying next week could probably be a little bit tough for them. That's all I'm saying.
What other games got your eye last week?
Kansas City and Atlanta, dude. It was a great game. It was a good game. Of course, I hate to see my Falcons lose, but that was just a back and forth game. It was an excellent game played by both teams. Kansas City found a way to win, but Atlanta didn't make it easy for them. I mean, it was a game where one turnover apiece. I think Alex Smith threw an interception and Freeman had a fumble. That was it, man. And those both happened in the first half.
Shoot, Matt
So,
Ryan threw a pick that got housed too, man.
oh yeah, that's right. So Atlanta had two turnovers. That's right.
And
Um,
he threw a 2-point conversion pick too.
but I don't think those count as a turnover though, does it?
No, they don't. But man, it hurt because
Oh yeah, that was
they
the.
won
I
off
mean,
of that. Eric Berry,
you,
man.
you take off the 2 point conversion, man. That's a 28-27 game now.
Yeah.
But dude, I saw some signs of the old Matt Ryan showing back up, dude, and you know I have a problem with that.
He forced some throws.
Yeah, you can't force the throws, man. You got to do what got you to this point of being 7-5, or at the time 7-4. You got to do what got you there, and what got you there was spreading the ball around. Um, what are they looking at? 60-40 pass to rush ratio. I mean, they were doing really good. It was very balanced, and then all of a sudden, like the past 2 games, Matt Ryan's like throwing like 45, 50 passes, and he's trying to fit it into Julio Jones consistently, and it's just not how you need to play that game. Atlanta's not built that way. So that was a pretty good game. I enjoyed watching the Green Bay Houston game and the Chicago San Francisco game, not because of either one of winning or losing, but it was quite hysterical watching those people fall down all the time. Man, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's them snow games. And yeah, the 49ers, yeah. So yeah, we need to go ahead and clean house. I say we trade the whole team for the second round of the NFL draft, the whole round.
Yeah,
Not just a few picks, the whole round.
just trade everybody out. Dude, get rid of the side. Like I told you, man, get rid of the side. Get rid of everybody. I want new cones. I want new everything. New field goal post. I don't want anything. I don't want anything to remind me of this 2-12 or whatever they are right now. 2-9, whatever their thing is right now. What are they? I'm looking it up.
We're 1-11.
Oh my,
1-11.
whew, even worse. Yeah, and dude, Colin Kaepernick, garbage.
Nah, man. You know what? No. Now I can't let you bash Colin Kaepernick like that, man. Colin Kaepernick has played decent. Oh, that not okay. The Bears game was an utter and complete disaster. Okay,
Okay.
that was a disaster. But he has played well considering. Ever since he got the starting job back, and I mean, really, I mean the rest of the team, Patrick. Man, we just need a new team. All right, just that's why I said just trade everybody for the second round of the NFL draft, and we will just start over with all draft picks.
Dude, it wouldn't hurt you any to change the logo. Trade the logo in, dude. Trade it all in. Get different colors. I mean, do it all. If you're gonna do
new
the same
team,
house,
everything, huh?
I'm talking about get the chisel and scrape that crap off the wall. Get out of here.
The power washer.
Dude, I would do. But you know what? I feel your pain, man. I was saying that. I was saying the same thing when Atlanta Falcons were going through all that with Redmond and Chris Chandler, and I was like,
Start over.
start over. Dude, they had to look. They went in and changed their logo. Look, just saying.
Well, Patrick, before we get on what before we get on what we're looking forward to, man, there's a couple of things I wanted to point out. I have to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers props. They're 7-5 now, and they are tied with the Falcons at the top of that division. So Jameis Winston is playing some good ball, and it doesn't look pretty all the time, but the man just finds a way to make some plays, and he can make the big time throws. We saw this at Florida State when he was there in college, and he's doing the same thing as a pro in Tampa Bay. So I give Tampa Bay props. And Detroit, they're 8-4 now, running away with the NFC North, looking like they're going to be the team to win that division. Oh, and one more thing, Carolina, man, they're a mess. They're a hot mess.
Yeah.
That coaching staff might need to get evaluated there, man, because look, again, Patrick, if you're running, if you know you have a beat up offensive line, you cannot continue to run plays that are going to take 8 seconds to develop because you're running all these deep routes. Cam Newton is getting whooped back there. You need to run the football and run short, quick passes. Get the ball out of his hands. You're waiting for these receivers to get down the field, take in Calvin Benjamin, all these dudes, Greg Olsen. You're waiting for them. You're running these deep routes. Your dudes can't protect. So you can't put them back there to wait. It's ridiculous.
And the bad part about even about the whole 8 seconds, 10 seconds, however long it's taken for that play to develop, on the other end, the other team is sitting in the house. They're sitting in the house, dog. They're sitting. I saw a couple plays against I saw a couple plays last week when Carolina was waiting for that play to develop. Seattle sent 9 people. 9. You don't send 9 people.
They sent the water boy off the.
No, they sent the water boy, man. He was out there splashing people with water and tackling Cam, and he was like, I was like, dang, that water dog. Water sucks. It really, really sucks. But not today, it don't.
And Patrick, here's the thing. The thing is, Seattle's not really a team that blitzes a lot. Yeah, I mean, they had
2 sacks, dude.
Yeah, but they're not a team that blitzes a lot. Normally, they're a 4-man rushing team, and then they'll sit back and play a little bit more coverage. They're pretty solid and pretty basic with their package. Well, in this game against Carolina, man,
they had 20 knockdowns.
Yeah, they were coming.
They were coming. They were sent. No, like I said, they sent 9 people. 9. How do you have Greg Olsen, Kevin Benjamin running routes, and 2 other wide receivers running routes, and you're leaving 2 safeties on islands to cover 4? That's just the math does not add up. But yet here we are. There has to be somebody open downfield. There has to be somebody open downfield. But here we are looking Cam Newton scrambling, trying to save his life, trying to extend plays, and Seattle sending 9 people. 9. 9. That's not 8. That's 9.
Well, Patrick, what's catching your eye for this weekend's games?
Well, first of all, this game, Oakland and Kansas City, man. Obviously this is an eye catcher. Pittsburgh and Buffalo. I like this game. It's being played in Buffalo. I think it's gonna be a good game, man. I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think what's the other one? Tampa Bay and New Orleans. And the way Atlanta is playing, they should be able to take care of LA because LA is just absolutely horrific.
That's another team that needs some.
How do you run 90 plays and pass 89 times with Todd Gurley as your running back?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on there with Jeff Fisher. Now, you know me, man. I'm not a fan of Jeff Fisher anyway. Jeff Fisher should have been fired a long time ago. I heard a stat not too long ago, Patrick, where he is coached for 22 seasons. 16, all right? 16 of those seasons, he has been at or below 500. Yet this man keeps a job. So I don't understand how you can be your career is mediocre. You're
still a head coach.
Yeah, you're still a head coach. And the way this whole thing with the Rams is being handled, Patrick, again, like you said, Todd Gurley, 11 carries last game. 11. That is not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. And you're letting dudes like Case Keenum and now Jared Goff throw 40, 50 passes. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you calling there as a play call? That's terrible. That makes no sense. And yet this guy continuously puts together mediocre at best teams, and he still has a job. If he ain't fired, I think they gave him an extension. Look, man, you want to talk about Patrick? You want to talk about somebody giving people extensions for garbage? You need to get on the Rams. Now I know Philly has been your punchline, but you need to get on the Rams.
Well, believe me, I'm going to. Look, Todd Gurley coming from Georgia. I know how this guy can play. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here looking. I'm sitting here watching some of these games. I'm looking at some of these stats, and I'm sitting here looking at how do you not have this man with like 400 carries plus right now?
I mean, 20, 25 carries at least for this man a game. At least. I don't understand that. I mean, you gave him the ball a lot last year. And now all of a sudden you're just saying, oh, no, man, we're going to throw the ball, knowing that's not your strength.
Yeah.
This is not a secret. And it's not a secret the Rams struggle to throw the ball. Your strength is the run, but you're going away from it. It's pathetic. I don't know.
It's absolutely horrible. Todd Gurley should. I mean, some of your best running teams, like Arizona. Look, you got Carson Palmer, who you expect to throw a million times in a game. I get it, but man, when look, Johnson has had that ball handed to him a lot. I mean, he's got over 1,000 yards this season. But I'm sitting here looking at Todd Gurley, and this guy has not even gotten. He's got like 700. This guy should be at like 12 right now. And when he gets the ball, I mean, the dude averages six yards a carry. Yet we're only going to let him touch the ball 11 times in a game. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? The Rams deserve to lose if they're not going to give that man the ball. I mean, if it's a 6.9 yards a carry, I'd run that until that dude has 2 yards per carry. And then I might throw it one time and then give it back to him again.
Yeah.
But back on my original thought, Atlanta probably should handle business. But that New Orleans and Tampa Bay game is going to be very interesting. And now I'm going to be paying attention to a lot of that conference because Atlanta had a pretty much a dominant. They were up 3 games. Here now we are tied with Tampa Bay. So that's going to be an interesting game. Another one, Seattle and Green Bay. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, they're in Lambeau Field. You have the Cowboys and Giants, and you have the Ravens and Patriots on Monday night. So there's pretty good games coming up this week. But yeah, I agree with you. The Steelers and Bills is one that I look forward to. I think that will be one of your better games for the week, and it's definitely going to have a big say-so in the playoff race in the AFC. Buffalo, there's at 6-6. The Steelers look like they're starting to get their act together at 7-5. So it'll be good to see how that all turns out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to that. And then, how is the? I guess what is the? I'm pulling it up right now. I want to see what the wild card looks like.
Denver and Kansas City are your wild cards right now,
which is going to change
if this score holds up.
After this, it's probably going to hold up, man.
No, man, the Raiders have the ball.
Oh, it's still 4 more minutes.
Yeah.
Are they driving? Looks like they're driving.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought the game was almost over.
I mean, it's 4.5 minutes left, but the Raiders have the ball.
Okay. So, I mean, the wild card looking like with Denver and Kansas City right now in the AF in the American League, and what are you looking? New York and Tampa, and Green Bay. I don't know what happened to Green Bay.
Well, Green Bay might be starting to get together. Maybe we'll see. They've won their last couple of games. They're sitting at 6-6. This is a huge game, like you said, with Seattle. So
Yeah,
uh, Green Bay may be able to pull something out there. It'd be interesting. Washington is still in the hunt there too, and they have that tie. So we'll see how that turns out. and
yeah,
so yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see.
yeah.
Well, Patrick, before we wrap this show up, man, let's talk a little bit of NBA. So I want to start with Klay Thompson. We didn't get to talk about this, of course, but the man put up 60 points the other night, Monday night against the Indiana Pacers. 60 points in 29 minutes.
Yeah, it's a bucket a minute.
Yeah, he didn't play in the fourth quarter. And I
And got
mean,
mad.
yeah. And then again, hey, I I understand. I understand him being a little. I mean, look, man. Anybody who is on a hot streak like that wants to ride that out. Now, ultimately, yes, you want to see him be more of the team-oriented guy. You know, the Warriors did this whole thing with records, points records, three-pointers, and all that. It is all about the title for them. It is title or bust this year, especially when you bring in Kevin Durant. You're saying you're trying to win a title and maybe many more. So, so that's what you're saying. You're not really worried about the records, but it would have been interesting to see what would have if Klay Thompson did stay in. What does he end up with? I mean, a man scored 60 points in three quarters.
It's, it, I can see why he was mad. I can absolutely see why he's mad. You got who was it? Kobe Bryant, who scored 81 points in a game, and Wilt Chamberlain, who scored 100 points in a game. And you definitely want to be ranked up there with those guys. I get it. I mean, it's when you talk about numbers like that, you always want to see you always want to have those names around you. But it's not about. I got a freaking cramp in my leg. It's not about the touchdown
Almost.
almost. Like you said, man. It's not about the records. It's about championships. And let's put some rings on our finger. Let's get some jewelry. And Klay Thompson has to understand that. Look, you put up 60 points. I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me play in the NBA and throw up 60 points, man. I'm gonna set my butt down, and I don't care if coach be like, get back in. I'm like, dog, I did my job. That's 60. I'm sitting. But you only paid 4 minutes. Dog. I put up 60 points in 4 minutes. Dog. I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
I put up 60 points in 90 minutes. I'm sitting down. Hell, I put up 20 points and my old ass. I put up 20 points. Dog. I'm done.
Well, Patrick, this is an example of what I was telling some people that I was talking to about Green Bay. I'm still thinking football, obviously, but about Golden State and when they got Kevin Durant, and people were wondering whose game was going to be affected the most. Well, I said Klay Thompson's game is not going to be affected at all. At all. And the reason why I said that is because this is a player who does not need the ball in his hands to be dominant. The man is a master using screens. He runs off the screen after screen after screen. He finds open spaces. He cuts, he slashes, and he just spots up. And he has, to me, the best shot in the game. And a lot of people want to say Steph Curry, but Steph Curry has a quick release.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Steph Curry has. He has the quickest release. But if you want a shot, you can go and put on an instruction manual for anybody who wants to play basketball. Klay Thompson is your dude. His shot is the most mechanically sound shot you have in the league today. Today.
One of two. One of two.
I think the best. Who would you put up there with him?
Don't forget about Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard's shot isn't that pure though, man. I mean, I think it's all right. Now, it's nice. Look, it's nice, but is it better than Clay's? I don't know if it's better than Clay's.
Look, I look. I understand. I say the same thing about King Griffey Jr. and his swing, but Kawhi Leonard, man, he got a nice shot, man.
He does. I'm not saying this shot is not nice, but to me, Clay's shot is just it's smooth. It's smooth and it looks effortless. I don't know if Kawhi's is
I give
at
you
that
that,
point yet, dude. I mean, it's
but
good.
he's gone.
He's coming, and you know what? That'll probably be the next thing he works on his game. Kawhi Leonard has improved his game in some way, shape, or form every year he's been in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think his shot is definitely coming, but right now, you give me Clay's shot, man. Clay's is clean, dude.
Hey, dude, I will give you this, man. He not just based on his shot, just but based on his pure clutch, dude. I'll tell you right now, I almost picked Klay Thompson over LeBron James in a clutch shot.
Yeah, yeah. LeBron, as we know, man, as we discussed, he's more apt to make the right basketball play.
Yeah.
He's a guy where he'll take the shot if it's there, but if there's a double that comes, if people are kind of shading toward his direction, he'll find that open guy. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's gonna make that play.
I respect him for that, man. It's higher percentage. I mean, it's high percentage. He plays a percentage game, man, and you really can't fault LeBron for that. But sometimes, man, percentages got to go out the door, and you got to make the shot. And when it comes down to what Klay Thompson does, man, he plays a statistic game, but the chances are he's kind of like he'll put his eggs in his own basket. And he takes it upon himself to score. I mean, that's just like when he had that one game where he shot like 11 3-pointers in one game, man. He just decided on himself, I'm going to take this game over. And when he decides, when he makes that choice, he sticks with it, win or lose. You know what I mean? So you got to respect both of their games. But I can tell you, if it was up to me, and final shot come down, I got both of them on my team. I'm gonna say LeBron, give it to Clay.
Well, I mean, I guess just kind of looking at how things are going. Golden State, to be honest, they look like they're starting to hit on. Well, okay, they've been hitting on all cylinders for a little while now. This probably happened a little bit quicker than most of us thought. I thought it'd be a little bit of a transition period there in terms of trying to get used to who's going to have the ball in their hands and stuff. But what you have in Golden State, what makes their culture, I guess, so unique is even though you hear all the numbers with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson, and whoever else, Draymond Green, I mean, they're a pretty unselfish team as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact they have been playing this style over the past few years, a guy like Kevin Durant can come in there and kind of find his niche quicker because of that. Now, do you have your situations where the ball might stick a little bit? Yeah, what team doesn't? When you have two dynamic scorers like a Steph Curry and a Kevin Durant on the same team, that's going to happen. But with the culture there of ball sharing, I mean, they've had, I want to say 16, 17 games of 30 or more assists. I mean, I think the next closest team has 4. So, I mean, that's the culture that is there in Golden State. And because of that, Kevin Durant can come in there and kind of concentrate on the other things because he knows he's going to get his shots. I mean, it's not a matter of him not getting his shots. He knows he's going to get his shots, but maybe he can become better defensively. Maybe he can become a better rebounder, improve on other parts of his game. Because we all know Kevin Durant can score. We
Yeah.
all know that. I mean, he's a 4-time scoring champion, but those other aspects of his game look like they're starting to pick up. Now, I still think they'll probably have to get somebody defensively, another big body in there, because they can still get pretty beaten up inside. But we'll see how they deal with all that. Until then, I guess they're just going to score 140 on everybody and just take their chances.
And honestly, that's probably what they're going to do right now. They win these games on sheer offense alone. I mean, when I'm sitting here looking at, and I pulled it up, points per game leaders, Golden State is averaging 120 points a game in regulation, and their opponents are averaging 106 in regulation. That's a 14-point differential, and they're just going to beat teams just on sheer offense alone. And look, the next team behind them is 112. That's Houston, and then 111. That's Cleveland, and 110 with Portland and Toronto right behind them. Dude, if you're averaging 110 points a game, even if you're Houston, you're averaging 112. That's still an 8-point differential. They're gonna win on just your offense alone. I mean, honestly, just give somebody the ball and shoot it. I mean, that's how they're gonna win, and they have no defense at all. They're allowing their teams to score 106 points, but they're scoring 120. So as long as you're putting up more points than you are allowing, you're gonna win. Statistically shows that you will have a 100% chance of winning if you put up more points than you allow. So, just in case I didn't know statistics, there's one for you.
I like the simplicity of that, Patrick. That's what's up. Well, guys, that will wrap up, guys and gals, that will wrap up this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. So, as we're going off the air here, it looks like the Chiefs are going to hang on and win this game, 21-13. And then that means the Chiefs will be in first place in the division. They have the same record as the Raiders, but since they swept the Raiders head to head, that gives them the tiebreaker.
Yep.
So,
too many miscues, man. You can't have those miscues and win a game.
Yep. Well, check us out. We're on Facebook, we're on Google Plus, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, and we're going to continue to work on some of these new additions, excuse me. So again, let us know how we're doing. Leave your comments, please. We encourage it. And is there anything else, Patrick, I'm missing?
Nope, that's it, man. You got everything.
All right. Well, everybody, take care. Enjoy the NFL, enjoy the NBA, and I guess sit back and wait. We got the Heisman Trophy to be decided, so we'll see. Pickups. We'll see who wins that. But other than that, enjoy the sports for the weekend. Enjoy your weekend as a whole, whatever you're doing. Be safe, and we will be back next week. Take care.